And now getting into round 3, we have Excerpt 7 against Mons, Debris Field against Luke AP, and Joyous 18 against Splinter. So let's party. Alright, so first up, Excerpt 7 against me. Very kind of a similar design doctrine between these two. You know, sort of rush at the enemy, a lot of forward defense and a lot of forward firepower. But you can see the slow ship from Excerpt 7 punching some big holes in my fleet. But these chain guns cutting the medium battle guard to shreds. The blockers are doing a good job of keeping this thing locked down, but I don't know that that's a fair trade. That's two 4,000 point ships being kept busy and not even killing a single 2,000 point ship. And that's going to lead to a lot of extra firepower being brought down on Excerpt 7's fleet here. They did eventually kill the one ship the two blockers were engaging, but in that time the rest of my fleet kind of took apart everything else, which is a bit of an issue for this last ship. As we saw, these blockers, they don't have a lot of firepower, and so they can't get a whole lot in the way of results on their own. But when they've got you know, this kind of incoming firepower against them, there's only so much they can really be asked to do. So next up we have Debris up against Luke. And previously we saw Debris' main ship brings a lot of firepower and a lot more speed than you might expect. It's got a forward acceleration of 4 per second, though Laps's kiters have 6 and 7 per second reverse acceleration. So Debris may have a hard time actually catching up to them, but one of the banes of Luke's fleet in the past has been the map border. And so that might become an issue again, but because Debris has concentrated so much of his fleet's capability in a single ship, it's a lot easier for kiters to endlessly avoid them. And you can see the Goshawks sitting here, staying outside of the danger range, shooting their little lasers. I do think it's going to take them a while to get anywhere, and the Tali's getting destroyed by the point defense, as one would anticipate from a Tali. Talis are they're cheap. They're not quality, but quantity is a quality all its own. The Goshawks do seem to be having a hard time making their way through the shields, and I'm wondering if that's because they're hard shields or if their damage is just not appreciable against the soft shield's regeneration. I don't remember what kind of shield Debris was using on his ship. Meanwhile, the bomber over here you can see is just slowly but surely cleaning up these hexes. The scoreboard is pretty similar between the two for the moment, or was. The bomber, yeah, with an acceleration of 1.2, these things are not going to make it into range. So this bomber is going to clean that up, and we'll eventually see the missiles coming in from the side up here. We've got 1 minute left on the clock. A pretty solid score lead for the Fluster Fighters, but this could still turn around pretty quickly. This big ship from Debris does have a lot of firepower, and essentially the entire focal point of this match needs to be whether or not this big ship can get a pinch on one of Luke's ships. If it can't get the pinch done correctly, then Luke is just going to win by attrition on points. And I think that might be what we end up seeing here. Well, that's quite a bit of firepower, but the shields are managing to absorb it. Luke's main defensive measure is not actually the shields, it's the speed. And speed can prevent more damage than any other potential defenses. And it's going to give the round to Luke. Alright, next up we have Joyous up against Splinter. I'm concerned for Joyous's fleet's chances here. The number of shields that Splinter has is pretty extreme, and I feel like Splinter's gonna... yeah, he just punched right through that. Although Joyous did make some progress very quickly against those forward shields, but you can see the soft shields regenerating and continually pushing out, essentially rotating which shield is taking damage at any given moment, as Splinter's ship just dismantles the burgers and fries. That large artillery is so satisfying now. And Splinter takes the round. And so now as we take a look at the final brackets, on the left column, we can see Splinter is going to be taking home the prize for the tournament win with 3 wins and 0 losses. I'm in second, tied with Luke. We have different tie points, meaning that according to the win-loss ratios, my run was actually harder than Luke's, but that's just kind of how the Swiss format works. I highly recommend reading up on it. It's a very neat format to hold tournaments. But overall, thanks to all the participants who joined us, and thank you, the viewer, for watching.